So if you want to let us know in the chat where you're joining from, where in your AAT journey you are, that would be amazing. Everyone's going to say, I haven't started yet, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, Bev, last level 2 exam tomorrow, level 2 bookkeeping on my last unit. Amy, 6 months into AAT level 3. Linda's just starting level 2. Marie from Nottingham, just studying level 3. Love a mixture. Love a mixture. I was actually just chatting on my Instagram stories. AAT have just launched the first student panel. So if you are an AAT student and you want to make sure your voice is heard, you can actually register to be on a student panel. So I'll be at those sessions as a board member and trustee, but a lot of AAT activities are available for full members, and so it's a really exciting opportunity to get your voice heard as a student. Brilliant. As well, it's at 12:30 on the dot, so I'm going to hand over to the lovely Samantha.
Thank you so much. Can you still hear me? Is that okay?
Yep, all good.
Brilliant. Okay, so hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. So you've probably heard us have a little bit of a chit chat before, but I'll go over it again. So my name is Samantha Horaczek, and I'm the operations manager here at Eagle Education and Training. So today I'm joined by Rachel, who is here to guide you through the AAT qualification to offer some expert study tips and talk you through studying with us here at Eagle. So very excited to be hosting this webinar together. Rachel is basically disrupting exactly what an accountant is today. So Rachel is a business owner and an employer in 2023. So she's also a speaker, a content creator, author, business owner, and again, most importantly, she's an accountant. So Rachel is also the official accounting personality of the year 2023, which is amazing, and passionate about free financial education for everyone, as well as the founder of Accountant She and striveX Accountants and Mortgage Brokers. So please feel free to use the chat panel to ask any questions you may have about AAT or Eagle, and we will answer them in our Q&A session at the end. So with that, I will hand over to Rachel.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sam. Hi, everybody that's here live, a very, very big welcome. We just did a little shout out in the chat. So if you missed that as you were coming in, let us know in the chat your name, where you're joining us from, and if you are currently studying AAT, what level you're at. If you guys have not come across me before, I just wanted to say hi. So my name is Rachel. I'm the founder of one of the UK's fastest scaling accountancy practices. And I'm the founder of the online brand Accountant She. So I create long and short form content across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram under the handle accountant_she, where I share financial education, study tips, and what it's like to run an accountancy practice. So just really, really giving you guys the behind the scenes, the stuff that when I started, I worked in really corporate firms. I had no idea what a day in the life of like every single person at different qualifications in different departments looked like. And so it's basically my goal to become your accounting big sister who hasn't got it like perfect, doesn't have it nailed, but is just trying to hold your hand and show you guys what it looks like from different perspectives. So 3 years ago, I started striveX with my husband, James. So during that time, we have scaled from a one-man band on our dining room table with 50 clients to we're now a team of 18 full-time members of staff. We've got 724 clients as of this morning, and we are no longer on our dining room table. Again, just getting to create real life, honest, engaging, exciting content for you guys to just let you know what different options are out there, and to use content as a way to answer the questions that I was Googling when I was doing AAT. And so one of the best bits that we've popped into the webinar today is really just deep diving into AAT, what AAT is, and again, those questions that I was Googling was what's my job title going to be when I've done AAT level 2, level 3, and level 4, and what is my salary going to be? And so we are coming at you with the frequently asked questions. Important and relevant for today's conversation is that in 2022, I became a director, board member, and trustee of AAT. So I am really delighted to be here chatting to you today all about AAT qualification and, most importantly, how Eagle can help you on your exam journey. So unless it is not completely obvious from what I've just said, my mission is to disrupt what it means to be an accountant, what it feels like to have an accountant, and what being an exceptional employer of accountants looks like as well. So the purpose and the mission behind what I do is to make financial education accessible and consumable to everybody, as well as trying to guide you guys, students, accounting students, through their accounting studies and provide the support that I wish I had when I was studying for my exams. I basically tried to make accountancy a club and to create community surrounding accountancy. Again, for people who are in the same boat as me, who maybe chose accounting or AAT as an alternative to going to university, trying to remove the loneliness and really build very strong community around finance. So I've got things like merch for accountants who want to be part of that club that say things like, don't let people spreadsheet about you, or catch fraud, not feelings. And I share day in the life content from my perspective of running a practice with 18 employees, but also my team create content about study, life, and that balance as well. And so I'm just very, very excited to be here talking to you about AAT today, what AAT is about, what it means for you to study AAT qualification, and then to also introduce you to the brand new Eagle education. So to kick off, I just want to give you a really quick overview of AAT. I can see in the comments that we've basically got people level 2, level 3, level 4, people who are brand new and haven't even started AAT yet. And so I'm going to give you a headline overview of what AAT is, what AAT stands for. I actually don't think I could have worded this better myself. And so I actually wanted to share with you what AAT has to say about its work, its mission. And so AAT is the Association of Accounting Technicians. As you guys will know, accounting is full of acronyms. AAT is no different. It's the Association of Accounting Technicians, which is the world's leading professional body for accounting technicians. And because the world is changing like never before, AAT doesn't stand still either. So they develop finance qualifications that ensure businesses can draw upon skilled people being fully equipped to meet its challenges head on. And so AAT believe that everybody should have the opportunity to unleash their career ambitions. So they make that happen. They are breaking down barriers, empowering more people with real world expertise valued by organizations in all sectors. And so as part of that AAT community, they've got 124,000 members and students who belong to an inclusive association of accountancy professionals around the world with access to a network of insights, opportunities, and lifetime learning. So they help you not only qualify with AAT, but keep skills up to date, relevant, and ready for business. And I really feel like that's what sets Eagle supporting AAT aside from lots of different qualifications. AAT is a real world finance qualification. It's not just technical. There are loads of practical elements that are delivered through AAT. And so it really can increase your employability choosing to do AAT over another qualification. And so now is actually really an exciting time to be considering becoming an AAT student, continuing your AAT studies, or becoming a full member of AAT, because there are so many different ways for you to study towards your AAT qualification. Again, we've got incredible brands like Eagle bringing fantastic new accessible platforms to the market to help you guys do it easier than ever. So that's an overview of what AAT is. And so now I'm going to do a little deep dive into the actual qualification. So AAT is a professional qualification in that it's professionally recognized. So if I, as an employer, see that on your CV, that's an immediate benchmark. I know exactly where you are at. And so because it's a professional qualification, it's going to be providing you with the necessary knowledge and skills in order to be able to pursue a career and hit the ground running in finance. So starting your AAT qualification might be your first insight into the world of accounting, or you could have a job and your employer has suggested you come onto AAT. So some people start with absolutely no finance experience. Other people have more finance experience and are using AAT as a way to benchmark themselves against other candidates in a competitive market. So really worth saying as we kick off that you don't need any prior experience or industry knowledge to get started at the first level of AAT. And by the time you've completed your exams, you'll have a solid understanding of the basic accounting principles, as well as the skills and behaviours needed for a successful career in accounting. So this slide, the next slide, is the bit that I really wish someone was able to explain to me. And I feel like a triangle is the perfect way to do it, to like zoom out and really, really look at the qualifications. So the AAT qualification as a whole consists of several levels. So it's starting from level 2 and then progressing up to level 3 and then finishing with level 4. And each level represents a higher degree of knowledge and expertise. So completing AAT level 2 means that you will have completed your foundation certificate in accounting. So with level 2, that's the foundation certificate in accounting and the certificate in accounting. And this level covers some of the basic concepts like costing, double entry, debits on the left, credits on the right. If you can't remember debits and credits, you should find that YouTube video because you'll have the song stuck in your head between now and your exam, and you'll never be able to forget. Stacey said the triangle is useful. Thank you, Stacey. So level 2 is the certificate in accounting. And so this level is going to be covering basic accounting concepts at a foundational level, so costing, double entry, and it will also give you an insight into how to use accounting software. Again, as you can see, AAT are already setting themselves apart, and Eagle can help you to do that by combining the practical with the theory to really make sure that you're not only getting a qualification, but confidence and practical experience along the way. So by completing level 2, you'll be able to complete tasks like processing payments and receipts. You'll be able to prepare invoices, complete bank reconciliations, and then you'll also learn the bits that lots of people don't know that accounting topics cover, like ethics, communication, technology, sustainability, and all of that within the context of finance and accounting. So you'll have a really, really great understanding of the broader business environment. With the level 2 qualification, I'm going to come on to separately job titles, job offers, and salaries in a sec. So I'm going to go through an overview of qualifications, and then we're going to do a deep dive into the job opportunities as well, because that was my main. I was very like outcome driven and financially motivated in my 20s. So level 3 is your advanced diploma in accounting. And so this section, level 3, is going to enhance the skills that you learned at level 2 and also introduces you to some of the more tricky concepts. So once you've completed level 3, you'll then be confident with how to make provisions for things like irrecoverable debts. You'll be able to analyze variances, so difference in financial statements, and understand the importance of those decisions. You'll then also be understanding the importance of technology in accounting on a day-to-day basis. And by completing your AAT level 3, it's a really, really great way of a stepping stone to help you progress from a more junior role to perhaps a more strategic role where you are maybe supporting a finance manager or managers within your business. This is relatively new, and like it didn't exist when I did AAT. One of the best bits about doing AAT level 3 now is that you'll also be able to apply for professional bookkeeping status. And so if, like me, you didn't go to university and you had FOMO around not having letters after your name, once you've completed AAT level 3, you'll be able to get the letters AATQB, which stands for AAT Qualified Bookkeeper, at the end of your name. And again, this is a fantastic way of demonstrating your expertise to employers. But again, especially when you're taking a more vocational entry route into accounting, you're not going to university and you're using AAT as an alternative, even having letters after your name is a huge milestone in your career, which previously had only been available to level 4 full members, but it's now available to level 3. So very, very excited, proud, passionate about that as well with level 3. So moving on to level 4, we've then got the diploma in accounting. This is the highest level of accounting qualification that's offered by AAT. So the skills and knowledge that you will acquire through studying for the level 4 qualification will then enable you to be able to draft and interpret accounts. So we're actually preparing accounts at level 4. It's very exciting. So you'll be able to draft, interpret limited company accounts, prepare income forecasts, so cash flow forecasting, and then you'll also be able to prepare budgets within an organization, and it will also help you in your personal life. I saw huge changes in my personal life through financial education with AAT that touched more than just my personal life as well. So you'll be able to draft budgets as well. You'll be able to measure performance, identify risks within the finance function of your business. And with a level 4 qualification under your belt, you'll then be able to progress into even more senior roles within finance. So things like finance managers or senior finance officers. And then once you've completed level 4 and you can demonstrate certain skills, you'll then also be able to apply for full AAT membership. And therefore, like me, you'll be able to get the letters MAAT, which is a member of AAT, after your name, again, as an industry recognized sign of excellence. Some quick fire questions, because these are questions that I get asked all the time in the DMs on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. How long does it take to pass an exam or do a qualification? So each level can take anywhere between 6 and 18 months to complete, with the level 4 diploma usually being the level which takes the longest time. It's obviously at the top of the pyramid for a reason. So normally 6 to 18 months to complete. Again, one of my favorite bits about Eagle, and it's really important that you guys know that we have partnered together. Sam and I are coming together today because there is huge alignment on core values and the way that we approach business. The reason I love Eagle is because everything is available to you on demand. So if you are like me and a bouncy ball full of energy thinking, how fast can I get these exams done because I want that job title sooner? Actually, it being on demand isn't just for people who have loads and loads of commitments. It could actually be for you if conventional face-to-face or live online study is too slow for you. We've had members of staff through our employment that are on apprenticeship schemes that actually feel quite frustrated by the length of time that it takes. If you've got, a job in finance, you've got finance experience, and you've got that time capacity, it could actually be that you want to use Eagle as an opportunity to pass your exams faster. So first question was, how long does it take to do a level? So most people do a level between 6 and 18 months, but challenge accepted, see if you can do it faster. And then also, in order to obtain the AAT qualification, you need to pass exams at each level. I haven't actually said that yet. So assessments can include computer-based exams, practical tasks, and then projects, depending on the level that you're at. Again, AAT is a fantastic way of having diversity, and it's not all just computer-based tasks. There are lots of practical elements and projects, so they'll be testing you on things like your ability to embrace accounting software and spreadsheets and things like that. So it's not strictly computer-based exams. One of my other favorite bits about AAT, and again, the purpose of the triangle, is because actually, unlike lots of the chartered exams where with every single exam you are learning brand new information, AAT actually uses the same core 4 topics in every single module. So level 2, level 3, and level 4. And so rather than having new exam topics at every single level, the core basis, they're obviously called different things at different levels, but those core functions are exactly the same. And so you follow the same principles on level 2, level 3, and level 4. And so you can basically use them as building blocks to build your knowledge higher and higher. So the actual concepts are not new to you as you move throughout the levels. The names of the exams are slightly different, but those costing and budgeting and financial statements, they all remain the same and become pillars of your study up through the levels, which I absolutely love. Like, I had quite an anxious personality type when I was doing my AAT, and so knowing that it wasn't brand new information every time actually really, really helped me to build that knowledge and feel like it was building as well. So the question I hear the most, and the question that I had the most, is what job can I get after I complete each level of AAT, and tell me how much money I can earn. So studying accounting and bookkeeping can lead to great job opportunities, and each level, because it covers various topics, your income can then vary depending on experience as well. So with the right education, by partnering with people like Eagle, anybody can start an accounting or bookkeeping business as well as get a job. And so the first step is to learn the basics of accounting and bookkeeping. So I'm just going to fly through each level. So with AAT Level 2, which we also refer to as the certificate in accounting, it's going to give you a broad overview of those accounting principles and practices. And so because of that, once you've got your AAT Level 2 certificate, this will lead you onto a junior role in accounting, which enables you to earn while you learn. So you can do AAT at the same time as having that job. And so once you've got AAT Level 2, the job titles that you're going to be looking at. So again, if you're doing AAT as a way to search for a new job or get your first job in finance, the sorts of job titles that you're going to be looking at are things like accounts administrator, accounts assistant, accounts payable clerk, an apprentice accountant or accounts assistant, purchase ledger clerk, trainee accountant, and trainee finance assistant. So for AAT Accounting Level 2, the roles are currently, as at August 2023, currently paying between £16,500 and £22,000 per year. Again, does depend on job title, position, industry, and any prior experience. And just so you know, all of this information is coming from the AAT salary survey, which was released in 2022. So moving on to level 3, again, we've said it's the second highest level within the AAT qualification. And so by completing the AAT level 3, students can then open doors to more senior roles in finance. And so the job titles that you're going to be looking at once you've done AAT level 3 are accounts assistant, accounts payable supervisor, assistant accountant, audit trainee, credit controller, finance assistant, finance officer, payroll supervisor, senior bookkeeper, or tax assistant. And again, roles that require AAT level 3 are currently paying between £20,000 and £25,000. And again, that's all coming from the AAT salary guide. Finally, just flying on to AAT level 4. Obviously, this is the highest qualification that AAT offer, and it is more specialised in the units. The bit I loved about level 4 were the optional units. So within AAT level 4, you can actually choose some optional units that are the most relevant to you, whether that's what you are currently studying or the job that you want to get. So if you want a job in a certain industry, you can actually choose to take specific exams to showcase yourself in a really, really fantastic way. So at AAT level 4, the job titles that you're going to be looking at, I'm imagining everybody frantically searching Indeed at the same time as listening to me, are things like assistant auditor, assistant financial accountant, assistant management accountant, accounts payable supervisor, analyst accountant, fixed asset accountant, indirect tax manager, payroll manager, billing manager, professional accounting technician, senior bookkeeper, and a senior accountant. Again, you can also move into lots of different specialities, so personal tax, VAT, and insolvency. So if you're looking at this triangle and you think, well, yeah, that's great, I haven't actually started AAT yet, like where should I be looking to start? It is worth saying that you actually don't have to start at level 2 and work up to completing level 3 and level 4. You can actually start at the level that's right for you based on your experience and your prior knowledge. So, for example, if you've been working in a junior role in an accounting function, you might feel confident enough in your knowledge to start at level 3. So AAT actually have a really fantastic skills check questionnaire, which can be found online. So if you just Google AAT skills check, this is just a tool to be used to really give you some great guidance and information on the best AAT qualification for you based on your skills, knowledge, and prior work experience. So guys, as I'm flying through, there is a Q&A function within Zoom. So if you have a question for me, we've got lots and lots of time. At the end, me and Sam are going to be having a Q&A. So as I'm flying through, just make a note of any questions that you've got, pop them straight in that chat, and we'd absolutely love to have them. I can also see them coming through live. So if you do have questions and it's relevant and appropriate, I can just stop and jump in as well. Also, if you are thinking about asking a question but you feel scared, don't forget that people will be watching this on demand and they actually won't have the opportunity to ask questions. And so if you're like, oh, shall I ask it, shall I not? Don't forget if you have that question, lots of other people have that question too. It is literally my full-time job to create content to answer these questions. And so I am very excited to hear the questions that you've got. So please don't hesitate to ask me any questions. So we're now going to move on to the different study options that you've got available to you. So AAT qualifications are offered by Eagle. And so within Eagle, you can choose to study full-time, part-time. Again, because it's Eagle and it's an on-demand platform, you can choose to study distance learning. And again, I would really encourage you to think about your preferences, your availability, how long you want it to take you to do these exams. And so by studying AAT, you'll gain exemptions from other exams with all of the UK's chartered exam bodies. So if you're looking at doing AAT as a foundation and then moving on to become a chartered accountant, so CIMA, ACA, ACCA, once you've done AAT level 2, level 3, and level 4, you can then actually move on to your chartered exams with lots of exemptions. And so now I am very, very excited to give you guys a first look at the Eagle platform. So as I mentioned earlier, when you're choosing and deciding different option routes and different training providers, there are costs associated with becoming an accountant, completing an accounting qualification. So things like the actual study courses, like how are you going to learn the information, booking the exams, the books, the study materials, and the list goes on. And so price point is very, very sensitive for lots and lots of people. And this is where Eagle Education comes in. So Eagle Education has been created to provide courses in a really, really affordable and accessible way, which enables you to study towards AAT, ACCA, or CIMA accounting qualifications on your terms. And this is really important for people who are thinking about progressing onto different qualifications afterwards. It's really important to know that you can actually still stay with Eagle and continue studying with Eagle if you're looking to do further qualifications. And so Eagle's going to enable you guys to study AAT, ACCA, or CIMA on your terms. Again, having something where you feel in control can do you the world of good when it comes to accounting. And because of that, students really are at the heart of everything that Eagle does. And this is literally the exact reason why the platform was born. So all the way back in 2019, Eagle introduced its first ever subscription-based course, aware of the fact that lots of people didn't even consider pursuing a career in accounting because of the cost of studying towards those qualifications. I mentioned at the beginning, so one of the bits of my role is funding a bursary scheme, and that bursary scheme literally exists because access to finance and funding is crucial, and that's actually a huge barrier to lots of people who don't become an accountant because the access to funding is so difficult. And so actually Eagle are changing the way people are able to access accounting qualifications and actually giving access to people who otherwise might not be able to study. So by offering these types of courses, the aim of Eagle was to make higher education easier to access than ever before. So Eagle offer monthly, quarterly, and yearly subscriptions. So, if you want to ask for it for your birthday, you can. So you can do it monthly, quarterly, and yearly to suit your budget, your study platform, or even your employer's preference as well. So there are no financial tie-ins, there's no minimum term, and there's no catches or small print. So prices differ depending on whether you're planning to study AAT, ACCA, or CIMA, and again, whether that's going to be monthly, quarterly, or annually. But again, offering flexibility is literally one of Eagle's main priorities. So you can get instant access to presentations, e-learning, online textbooks, and progress tests when you subscribe. And you're also able to study wherever and whenever you want around your work, family, and life commitments. So I hope you guys are literally as impressed with Eagle as I am. I literally feel like just having access to study in this way is just such a huge game changer. Something that's worth mentioning as well at this point, if you are really, really excited about continuing to study AAT, but price is a touch point, as an employer, I would really encourage you to have conversations with your employer. Lots of people aren't aware that unless something falls into an official apprenticeship scheme, they might think their employer might not want to do it, but actually Eagle is so affordable. It could be that this is a fantastic opportunity for you to work with your employer, not through an apprenticeship scheme, to continue studying as well. So if you're thinking, all right, yeah, great, how do I sign up? Then you literally just need to head to the Eagle Education website, select your course, register your details, and literally 5 easy steps, you will get a 7-day free trial. So if you're building up to an exam and you're like, give me all of the content, you can literally sign up to a 7-day free trial to have a look around the platform. As you can see, I've put snippets in. So we've done a 7-day free trial. I've had loads of my team members look at this, and I cannot even tell you how impressed we've been by the content that's available by Eagle. We literally had people crowded around our computer trying to have a look at it because it is just approachable, accessible, and breaks things down in a way that feels very, very intuitive. Again, once that 7-day free trial ends, you'll then be able to begin paying for your subscription. Amy in the comments has actually asked, do the subscription fees cover all levels? For example, if you took a yearly subscription and did AAT level 3 in less than a year, would level 4 also be covered? And the answer is yes. Bev in the chat has actually answered the question for Amy and said, I pay monthly and have access to all 3 levels. And so Amy has said, thank you. Linda did just ask in the comments, what salary could we expect for level 4? Sorry if I missed it, I was taking notes. Yes, Linda, you did, bear with me. So salary for level 4 is normally between Oh, no, I didn't say it. Lindsay, you're right, I didn't say it. The job roles for AAT Level 4 range, because it's such a big range because of the seniority as you're going up, is between 23,000 and 40,000 plus. The sky's the limit on that one. So don't let 40 be a ceiling for you as well. So as I say, we have literally had our team crowd around our computer trying to get a look at this because it is fantastic. Again, we've got people in the chat who are already with Eagle and just want to have access to more and more content. So it is literally amazing. So once you've gone through your 7-day free trial, paid subscribers then get access to academic support. They get access to a dedicated mentor. So literally at that price point, all available on demand, but you still have access to a dedicated mentor to help you with your studies, as well as a personal study plan. So expert tutors will then also be available to support you and help you with study queries 7 days a week. I feel like a lot of people feel like if something is on demand, it's on demand and that's it. And for me, Eagle is really fantastic hybrid approach between the content being available on demand, but that support being available to you 7 days a week through a combination of mentors, tutors, and experts 7 days a week. So if you like the sound of Eagle and studying accounting, and I've sold to you a career in accounting that's bright pink, then studying accountancy. So if you like the sound of Eagle, but you're not actually sure if AAT is for you, you can actually contact Eagle and get a completely free consultation. You can ask for guidance about which qualification would be right for you. If you've maybe got experience in something and you're not entirely sure if that would give you an exemption, again, they literally have a dedicated resource to give you a free consultation. Or if actually you'd rather tappy tap rather than speak on the phone, then you can submit an inquiry form on the Eagle website and then you'll hear back from them within 1 working day. So I actually also just wanted to run you through some of the content available before we move on to some questions. So the online content that you will have access to as soon as you join Eagle, and again, there's literally no delay, like you just have immediate access to it, which again, chef's kiss from me. Once you join Eagle, has actually been created by accounting experts. So it's been exclusively developed by Kaplan for Eagle, and all written materials and all of the books have been developed by another market leader, which you've probably heard of, called Osborne Books. So if anyone's ever done AAT previously, you will know the name Osborne. So all of this content is literally coming from the best minds from Osborne and Kaplan coming together to deliver that through Eagle. And so that literally means that you have the best of the best when it comes to delivering those resources. So the platform which Eagle uses to deliver its training and resources is called Moodle. Again, if you've studied with Kaplan before, that won't be a new name to you. So you can see it on the screen right now. So this is insight into what the platform looks like and how the platform works. Again, even with that toggle on the left-hand side, like it's just so intuitive and you can see exactly where you are. If you want to jump between courses, the calendar, any announcements, your profile. And again, you can literally see as on the left, you can work your way through the different grades that you've got, course information, study buddy, which is one of my favorite features within Eagle, study modules, integrated workbooks. They literally break all of it down so you know exactly where you are. I feel like we've all been on study platforms before where it feels a bit clunky, it doesn't feel intuitive, and you spend half the time working out how to use the system rather than how to pass an exam. So the platform that you can see right now is exactly how this is delivered. It's through Moodle. And then again, when you sign into your Eagle account, each of the courses for your relevant qualification will pop up on the screen. You can then just select the relevant course that you're studying towards, and then you'll get into this screen where you can see all of the content. So inside the cost, each of the modules will appear on the screen exactly as you guys can see it here. And I wanted to give you guys not only the overview of what it looks like, but a deep dive into a specific section. So within each module, you'll be able to access information about the exam syllabus, the format, as well as access to your study buddy. So this is your main resource and outlines your study planner, which directs you to what study modules to watch, chapters to review in your online textbooks, and recommended tests to complete. Again, I can't express enough how I think a lot of people feel like on demand is very, very reliant on you. And I think one of the best things that I've seen Eagle do is actually encompass that with Study Buddy. So they're not just giving you access to content, which is just yours to do. You're also getting study planners, somebody to help you break down that into modules, directing you to the content that you need to do next. And they can literally see you ticking that stuff off your list in collaboration with tutors and experts to answer any questions that you've got as well. And so it's also going to be directing you towards what study modules to watch next once you've completed that, which chapters to review in your online textbooks, and then also what tests you should be taking at different touch points as well. Within the Study Buddy, so the main purpose of Study Buddy is to help you learn what's relevant quickly. Again, just laying that out in a really, really quick and easy way. It's going to help you to structure learning in a very logical way. It's going to teach the key subjects that they know are going to come up to the exam, and deliver that in a very, very clear and concise way. Teach subjects in a clear and concise way. Sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat at the same time. They'll also help you to apply the knowledge, so what actually happens in the real world. And again, this is something that lots of training providers do not do. So as well as teaching you the theory, what part of this is going to come up in practice, and how you can apply that into the real world. So things like interview tips, all of that stuff. If you're able to bring some of this knowledge into interviews, that can help you land a job sooner as well. So it's going to also help you to improve your study and exam technique. Again, lots of training providers simply aren't teaching us how to learn, how to consume content in the best way possible. And so you can literally improve your exam technique through the platform. And it's also going to, again, Study Buddy, like it does what it says on the tin. It's also going to keep you interested, motivated, and accountable to the study that you're doing, which again, lots of on-demand platforms simply aren't able to give you. So as well as all of that, you'll also be provided with some additional resources to help you understand the trickier topic areas. So these resources for the really tricky bits include information from the integrated workbooks that are available through AAT, and specifically designed study modules, literally for the bits that we know people struggle with every single year. So the study planner in your Study Buddy will indicate when you are required to watch certain resources that we know people struggle with time and time again. And so within that course, you'll also be able to complete knowledge checks. So if it feels good, you can literally test, does it feel good? Can I answer the questions? Or does it feel good because it's gone over my head? So you can do knowledge checks at different touch points as you go along. Bev in the comments has just said Study Buddy is absolutely fab. Again, as well as that Study Buddy, because you are an AAT student, you also have all of AAT's resources on top of that as well. So within that course, you'll get to those knowledge checkpoints, you'll do progress tests and mock exams for every single subject to help you to consolidate your knowledge. I am very, very excited to have a look at the questions that you guys have got as well. So it just about covers everything from me today, apart from you guys getting to take all of the knowledge out of my brain in the Q&A. So I really hope you've got a much better, clearer, like bird's eye view of AAT. Like I do remember when I started AAT feeling a bit confused about how it all worked. It all felt a little bit overwhelming and daunting. And so Sam and I, Eagle and I, have worked really closely to find a way to deliver this content in a way that actually just leaves you feeling very, very excited about the AAT qualification. So I hope you've got a better understanding of how the qualification works, but also how Eagle can help you really progress in your accounting studies. And so I would absolutely love to take some questions on anything we've discussed today or any other questions that you've got. And I'm going to bring Sam back in to help me answer them.
No problem. So we've got a couple of questions about academic support and personal mentor availability. So academic support, as Rachel said, is open 7 days a week. That is email contact with a turnaround, a service level agreement turnaround of 4 hours of their working day. So you will receive a response there. In Moodle, there is actually a section on the dashboard called Ask an Expert. So you've got direct contact there. So fire your question off and you'll receive a response within 4 hours. Mentor support, where available during working days and hours. Again, our service level agreement is 4 hours. We're a lot quicker than that. So feel free to contact us. For new students, obviously when payment's gone through and you've received your welcome email to contact your mentor, sometimes this does tend to pop into the spam because it's an automated email. So that's always something to to sort of point out that it is in there, and that's how we create your study plan. It's all unique for you. So the study plan is based on how many hours you're going to put into your studies. What are you doing at the moment? You know, what kind of career have you got? What's your current situation with priorities? What are you looking to get out? What's your objective of doing the course in the first place? So the study plan is never really generic in that sense, that we will say, right, well, you know, an average student studying at this pace would finish at this point. It is obviously based on what you can actually tell us. Another question we've got is there free practical training like Sage or Xero? So at the moment we are actually selling the brand new syllabus from the AAT, which is Q22. And what the AAT have done with the change in syllabus from the previous one, AQ 2016, is actually remove the practical element of Sage or Xero. They do have a digital element part of the syllabus, but that practical training has actually been removed. So unfortunately, that's not something that would be on offer with Eagle at the moment, I'm afraid.
But I feel like that's great news for you as a student, in that that's not an exam that you have to take.
Exactly.
If you're asking that question with the sort of result, with the end goal of like getting your first job in finance, I would definitely recommend, I actually have a long form YouTube video which is how to get a job in accounting with no experience, so we'll definitely recommend checking that out. Brilliant. Which recommends getting qualified and doing the Xero certifications, QuickBooks certifications, Sage certifications. Again, I have long form tutorials on my channel, so doesn't matter that Eagle aren't. Again, that's why I feel like by co-hosting this, we're bringing all of the resources together. So again, 100%. Long form answers to stuff on my YouTube channel around how to do a Xero certification, how to do a QuickBooks certification, especially if you're not an accountant with your own practice. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, but I literally hold your hand and talk you through those qualifications. I think this is one for Sam. Amy's asked, can you join Eagle if you're studying with another AAT provider? I'm really impressed. I'd love to give it a go.
Yes, absolutely. You know, you've got your 7-day free trial, so you've got access to all of the content that Rachel's discussed today. So yeah, you can have a look around there. Obviously, you don't want to be paying twice for the resources. So obviously, you'd need to consider sort of whereabouts you are with the current training provider, and if you've got the option to cancel that or move away. So it's something to have a look at, but you're certainly more than welcome to sign up for the free trial. Absolutely. You get instant access. So roughly you've gone through the free trial at checkout, probably within a few minutes you'll receive your login details for Moodle. So certainly give that a go. And any questions you've got, you can ask us along the way. It's no problem.
Love that. Bev, in the Q&A, asked which optional units for level 4 would you suggest if the aim is to open your own practice for sole traders and small limited companies. So just in case anybody doesn't know, with the 2022 qualification, optional units are business tax, personal tax, external auditing, cash and treasury management, and credit management. And so you can probably see there's like 2 that are specifically related to tax, 2 that are sort of audit and charities, and then 1 that's credit management, which is sort of industry. And so again, always thinking ahead, what's the North Star, what's the end goal? And so if you are somebody who would absolutely love a career in the sort of audit and charity world, that would probably signpost you towards things like auditing and treasury management. If your North Star is in the practice direction, you would probably be thinking about things like business tax and personal tax. Or again, if you wanted somewhere in the middle, something that you could use in both scenarios, that would then be credit management. Again, Eagle have access to lots of the sessions where you can literally talk to an advisor to help you map out exactly what that looks like. And again, I definitely recommend chatting to a tutor about that rather than making a decision based on a webinar. But Eagle have all of the resources available to just have a really lovely, like, in-depth conversation with you and work out what those next steps are. But even things like that, I wish somebody had said to me, like, these ones will signpost you towards practice, these ones will signpost you towards industry or charities, and just having someone explain that in real world is a really nice way. Stacey's asked, what are your top tips to securing employment once getting that level 2 completed, especially if you've not got the experience? Again, lots and lots, and like I have so much content on this. So like, if this is specifically you and the situation that you are in right now, there are so many things that you can do, even specifically focusing on your CV. So are we getting Xero certified? Are we getting QuickBooks certified? If you're a candidate thinking, why am I not getting jobs? Think about it from the prospective employer's perspective. They want somebody who can hit the ground running. And so if you're interviewing in practice or even within industry, but they use a specific software, it is completely free to get certified as a certified accountant on that software ahead of the interview. Don't feel like your CV has to be in a certain structure. It doesn't have to be in chronological order. I would definitely recommend putting the most relevant content at the top so they can see, right, this person is AAT qualified. It is level 2. Maybe I wanted level 3, but as well as level 2, they are Xero certified, QuickBooks certified, Sage certified. I can see, they're working with people around them in their personal life. They're volunteering to do the books for their local football club. Like, all of these things. Don't feel like you have to lay your CV out in a traditional way. Don't do it in chronological order if that doesn't make sense and isn't going to put the best stuff in front of their eyes first. Rearrange your CV and put the most relevant stuff at the top. Again, in the finance world, it's 2023. There is loads of automation, loads of AI coming in. And what that means, and this is great news if you don't have experience, is so much more of the job application and interview process is specifically centered around personality, your ability to be in front of clients, how you're going to fit into a team. And so put your personality across, get your personality into not an interview, into your CV. You need that CV to be strong to even get through to interviews. So tell me what you do in your free time. Tell me who your family are. Tell me, if I could be an emoji, this is the emoji I'd be in. Let me tell you why. Like, people who are person-centered, those are the employers that you want to work for as well. And so if you're putting your personality across, actually that is such a green flag if an employer wants you on that basis, if you are somebody with lots and lots of personality and loads to give. So we've done Bev, we've done Stacey. So Bev, again, doing the level 4 units, how to get a job in practice. Mansi said, what are your favourite modules in level 4? Well, so the optional levels at level 4, what did I do? I think I did credit management because someone told me it was an easy one. It was credit control at the time. I did credit control, and then I did personal tax. But I actually wish I did both taxes. Knowing where my career is now in practice, I spent my life doing tax returns. I really wish I did more tax, which I'm not sure anybody has ever said out loud ever. But I really wish I did more tax. So yeah, my favorite modules were the tax modules. Again, just absolutely love that, and I felt like I could. That gave me insight into what a job would look like for me as well. This is probably one for Sam. Rianne, I hope I've pronounced your name right, Rianne, has said, what can you do if your AAT tutor isn't providing the support they should be? I struggle to get answers from them. They didn't tell me about the student platform. It sounds like they're with another training provider. Didn't tell me about the student platform. I found myself. I just wonder if you got any advice. It felt like I knew more than them. And now going into my unit 2, I haven't had much contact with them. I found you guys on LinkedIn. I found your content more helpful. So if someone is with a different training provider, what can they do if the AAT tutor isn't providing them with the right level of support?
Well, yeah, that's a bit of a tricky one, especially as ideally you would obviously approach that with your current provider, obviously to express, obviously you're not very happy with kind of the support that you've had so far. Obviously, depending on where you are with your current provider, sort of contract-wise and such like. Eagle, we provide, like I say, 7 days a week support. It is email support, but again, with academic support, that's just sort of the technical questions with regards to that. All of our tutors are all experts, all fully qualified, and have been working as academic tutors for many years. So that's not something that would happen with us in that respect, because of the experience that we've got, especially as many of our tutors have actually come from local colleges teaching as well, and come over to teach in faculty as well with our umbrella company. So they have quite varied in that sense. But with this, I definitely think that you should approach the provider you're with now, and obviously explain that you're not happy with the level of support that you've had so far. Definitely.
We've had a very good question also from Rianne in the chat, which is with Eagle, like how do exam centres work?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really very flexible. I can see that you've said that your local college only allows people to sit their exams there if they're studying there. So obviously that is quite inconvenient. But with us, we have obviously the AAT, the governing body. They have a list of approved centres that are all over the UK, worldwide, in fact. And you can choose which exam centre you want to sit at by going through that list. So you literally, the search facility, pop your postcode in and it'll throw up the venues in your area. I think sometimes people assume because there's a college there that that's where you sit your exams, but the AAT approve independent businesses across the UK, like I say, we'll work internationally. So you might find there is actually an exam centre there that you never would have found about unless you'd actually gone to the AAT. So, but we can provide that search facility for you, and you can just search. It's the AAT's exam search facility that we provide.
Perfect. Alrighty. Somebody else has asked. I know this is an AAT webinar. Would it be possible to briefly go through the next steps after completing AAT Level 4? Yeah, of course, because Eagle, as well as offering AAT, also offer ACCA and CIMA. That's right, isn't it, Sam?
That's correct, yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty. So literally one-stop shop for ACCA and CIMA. Again, if you lots of people are sort of trying to decide which charter qualification should I be doing next. One of the best bits about doing AAT is it can give you that foundational knowledge before actually having to marry yourself to one chartered qualification. It could be that you start CIMA, which is very much for management accountants, and then you realise that you fall in love with practice, and actually you are with CIMA. And so one of the best bits about AAT is it does give you that sort of really holistic finance experience, which isn't swayed to industry or practice. For anybody that doesn't know, because I've realised I've been saying industry and practice quite a lot, industry is where you work in the finance department of a big company, maybe a car company like Aston Martin. You might be an accountant in the car inside a car company, so you work in the finance department of that company. That is a great way to work in an industry that you're really passionate about. So if you love cars, you love Formula One, you love fashion. I've got a friend who's an accountant at Vogue magazine. So it's a really fantastic way of combining different interests and like personal interests that you have into a career in finance. So working in industry is where you work in the finance department. Qualifications that would be really suited to that is obviously AAT, because it's very, very versatile, but CIMA is a Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and so that very often sits quite closely with industry. And then with practice, practice is what I do, so that's where I have clients who are all self-employed, and so they outsource their statutory accounting to me. So industry is working inside one finance department, and then practice is doing the statutory year-end bits for lots and lots of smaller self-employed people. And again, benefits of working in practice is that you get to work with a variety of people. We have accountants that have specialisms. So because of what I do on the internet, we attract lots of celebrities and influencers, content creators, boy bands. We've got everybody from someone who just won Bake Off, got a Love Islander coming into the office tomorrow to sort her taxes out, all the way through to our local village beekeeper, and everything in between. And so if you love diversity in terms of the people that you're talking to, conversations that you're having, and actually I've always found that with practice it gives you a fantastic opportunity to help people a lot. These are independent sole traders who don't have any finance experience, and they're really looking to improve their finances, and so really just building fantastic relationships is practice. And so after AAT, lots of people consider, should I do ACCA or ACA, or should I do CIMA? ACCA and ACA are very closely aligned. There's not huge differences between those two. Or should I do CIMA? And so again, with AAT, you get exemptions from lots of the foundational exams, so exemptions within that as well. And then, so Amy Lee, I hope that answers your question. Stacey said, how many of the optional levels can you do? Can you do them all if you weren't sure of the direction? I'm not sure anybody's ever asked that question before, because that would involve voluntarily doing more exams. So you have to do 2 exams, 2 optional modules in order to get qualified. Again, though, Stacey, with Eagle, you've got access to all of the content, so you can literally do all of them. Jack has asked, would AAT exam and membership fees be on top of the subscriptions? That's one for Sam.
Yes, that's correct. So we're an accredited provider, so we provide the course content. You will need to become a member with the AAT, and you will pay them directly when you register with them on their website. As an example, if you were starting at level 2, then that is for the new syllabus Q22, that is £172, and that is actually a lifetime membership for that particular qualification. So if it took you, I don't know, 2 years, worst case scenario, obviously that's a very, very long time, but for level 2. But if it took you that length of time, then that £172 would actually cover you still for that period in which you're studying that particular qualification. And then each exam, roughly, it will depend on which exam venue you actually sit at, how much they charge, and then you'll be looking around £80 to £100 depending on which venue you choose to use. But also, as part of the AAT search facility, the link that I mentioned before to Rianne, it actually gives you an idea of the cost on that particular link as well, so you can make a more informed decision about what's convenient and what's more cost effective as well.
It is worth saying as well, if you are shopping around, comparing different providers, that's why you're here today, it's actually very, very common. So if you are comparing external training providers, it is very common. And if you're comparing most of the prices that you see will not have AAT because they are just two completely separate organizations. It's very rare that a price would include AAT exams and membership as well. So if you are comparing prices, that doesn't set anybody apart. Jal has asked a really good question, which is, I am 60 years old. Don't tell everyone, Jal. I'm 60 years old, thinking of changing my career from a dispensing optician to another. Would you recommend someone at my age start an accountancy career? This is my favourite question to talk about, Jal, so thank you so much for asking that. Firstly, I was actually a dispensing technician in a pharmacy. That was my first ever job, and that was the first time I ever realised that I loved reconciling things. I used to have to do opening balances and closing balances when I was dispensing medicine, and I would just lose my mind if it was different. I loved finding differences between numbers and finding those errors, and so hi, dispensing friend Jal. So that's where I actually realized that I loved reconciling things. The second thing that I'd love to talk about is age within accountancy. One of the best bits about accounting and finance is that it doesn't discriminate against age. Actually, you can start a career in accounting at any time. Accounting is an incredibly accessible career as well. So I'm actually profoundly deaf, and I still get to do incredible content like this. I just have subtitles on my computer, and very often I don't even need to tell people that I'm deaf because it's such an accessible career. Hearing doesn't even come into it a lot of the time, and I'm able to work very, very flexibly. And so within that, accounting is incredibly accessible, whether that is age, me not being able to hear, all the way through to neurodiversity and finding employers that really, really meet your needs within that as well. So lots of people who ask that question, who maybe say, am I too old to change career, actually sometimes are looking at the fact that lots of entry-level jobs fall around an apprenticeship scheme. And so I'd like to tell you a story, which is about our first ever employee, and his name is Solomon. And he worked in Waitrose the week before he worked with us, and he was considered an older candidate, so he's in his 30s. And it's really, really worth saying, and something that I'm very proud of, is that employers don't have to pay the apprenticeship minimum wage. That is entirely optional. We have never paid the apprenticeship minimum wage. We pay 10% above market rate. A lot of those conversations and those misconceptions around apprenticeships and junior level roles is changing. Lots and lots of people choose to either pay the living wage or actually pay market rate for that role. So if age is something that you're thinking, well, that's great, but I can't do an apprenticeship because I have responsibilities and commitments outside of work, do know that paying the apprenticeship minimum wage is optional. You don't have to do it. And there are lots of great employers like us who can actually provide options that mean that you're being paid very well from the word go. So as one dispenser to another, I'm sure you'd be amazing. And then also age does not feed into it at all. Rianne has actually asked a question as well, which says, I love Osborne books for AAT. I researched online providers. I'd heard horror stories about others and really, really liked Osborne. How and where do you get your AAT content for learning will definitely be looking at Eagle Education. I'm now so happy I signed up for this and found it. It's really useful and eye-opening.
Yeah, so, well, first off, we have written our own, so the study buddy is ours. It's been written by our content team. It's been looked over, I the student, by our faculty and our academic support team. So it's gone through all of that. We also have study modules and integrated workbooks from our partner company, who have allowed us to use that content. So definitely making it more interactive. And we also provide all the ebooks for Osborne for that particular level that you're doing. In fact, if you're studying AAT, you will get Osborne books, ebooks for all modules, all levels, and that's accessed via Osborne themselves. We actually give you access, we provide that. So really our material is a range of resources, all led by the study buddy, but supported by the Osborne book. So if you love that, then excellent, you're in the right place.
Alrighty, we've managed to clear all of the questions. That was like such a good range of questions.
It really was. It really was.
Amazing. Cool. Guys, I'm going to hand you back over to Sam, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the next steps and what happens now.
Absolutely. So again, as Rachel said, fantastic session. So thanks everyone for coming. You will receive a recording of today's webinar via email shortly. You will also receive a second email, which will have a discount. So you can actually use that on your Eagle subscription should you choose to come with us. As I said, you get a 7-day free trial. Just pop that discount code in there. All attendees who have been entered into a prize draw, so one person will be contacted on Thursday and will receive 1 free month of an Eagle subscription. So again, thank you so much for that. It was a fantastic session, really enjoyed it myself actually. So don't forget, if you've got any further questions for us for Eagle, then get in touch with us. We're more than happy to answer those, and good luck really with your AAT studies. So thank you very much. Thank you.